Aloha and welcome back, everyone, to the Escape Gaming Podcast, episode 136. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, you are correct.
Sorry, I'm just laid back, because it's Summer Games Fest, Ted. I'm your host, Jake. That's Ted, and we're joined, as always, by James St. Charles. He's a little more official than us. Give him the real intro.
Yeah, exactly.
You're on the beach, Ted. How
We're
you
just
feeling?
we're vibing. Yeah, we're chilling.
We're chilling.
We're on the beach. I'm teleworking this podcast. It's
Yeah,
fine.
nice. Yeah, all the way from Maui.
That's where I'm at.
That's where you're
Maui.
at. James, how you feeling? Start of the summer. Is it getting warm where you're at?
You know what, Jake? This is the coldest June I think I've ever had in Sacramento.
Same here in San Diego.
It's been raining. It's
no
raining.
sun.
Yeah, it's cloudy today. It doesn't feel like summer. Maybe things will kick off.
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Before we get to the games, I want to bring up a question. I was thinking about this earlier today, and I wanted to ask you guys it on this trip.
Okay.
There are many, many great commercials that have existed on our TVs for a very long time. Many have graced, like every Sunday, you get your reoccurring Geico, Allstate, all these commercials. Who's the number one commercial mascot for you? That's just been throughout the years.
Maybe Chester from Cheetos.
Chester Cheeto.
Yeah, Chester.
The Geico's a good one.
That's a good one.
Or
totally
Tony
forgot
the
about
Tiger.
it.
Tony
the Tiger.
Tiger's
They're great. He had a great catchphrase.
Yeah.
Flo from Progressive.
Flo from Progressive is pretty.
Flo sucks. Anytime I see Flo, I'm done.
I'm gonna say I don't know the actor's name, but the guy who does the Allstate commercials.
Yeah, I think Mayhem.
Where it's nationwide.
Mayhem. Yeah.
No, not Mayhem. The other guy.
Oh, who was the president from 24?
Yeah, he was also in the hit TV show The Unit.
Yes.
That guy.
yeah.
That guy. Yeah.
That's
The
your
Unit.
pick. There he is.
I'll watch The Unit.
All right, there you go. All right, we needed to know the answers. I think that's a good one, Ted.
I'm gonna look up his name because
he's a good actor.
Bad.
Yeah.
He probably watches the podcast, so
Yes,
Yeah.
he is foreign user. All right, Ted, before you gather that name, James, it's Summer Game Fest.
Dennis Haysbert. Dennis Haysbert.
Dennis Haysbert. If you're out there, Dennis, leave us a comment, say hi to your mom, do whatever you got,
Yep.
James, what the heck is Summer Games Fest? Why are we celebrating it?
That's an excellent question. Summer Games Fest is the E3 killer. It's Jeff Keighley, who we all love. He runs the Game Awards show once a year. He is the de facto guy in terms of the video gaming space. So he created Summer Games Fest, I think, was it 2 years ago?
2020? I think it was COVID.
It's been 3 years.
I think it was COVID.
Maybe during COVID. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe 3 years during COVID. And it kind of started off small. I'd say like indie, and E3 was still kind of around.
Yeah,
then.
the biggest announcement of Summer Games Fest the first time was that Tony Hawk remake. That was the big thing that he had.
And I think Jeff has such pull in the industry that everyone just immediately shifted towards, fuck E3 because E3 is charging all this stuff and no one wants to do all that. And you have to commit to E3's time. You have to commit to their schedule. You have to be here. You have to rehearse. You have to have this forward. You have to send everything. And I heard no one wanted to be part of that. And there was people were starting to get away from it. Like Nintendo a long time ago, PlayStation, all that. And so now Summer Games Fest, I think, is a platform for everyone to just do their own thing. And Jeff hosts it. And it's not just one show. Although there's an opening show, it's it's like a collaboration.
Yeah.
So there's a schedule on summergamesfest.com, and it'll show you when everyone is doing their shows. When Xbox is doing the show, when Ubisoft, when all these different developers and companies are going to do their own thing. And it's just a hub of where you can watch all that. We liked I think we liked E3 when it was just, you had 1 week, today's going to be PlayStation, tomorrow's going to be Nintendo. That was kind of nice, but I think this way is, you're still getting some E3, but it's not pulling the companies that they have to be here on the schedule and do all these things. So it still has the same feel, I think.
Yeah, and no trade show or anything attached to it. It's just
no.
Game
it's just pure
and
game announcements, and of course Xbox hits it out of the park with just trailer after trailer after trailer, and we love that.
So how many of the shows did you end up watching, James, fully?
I think 3 fully, and that's probably maybe 6-7 hours of content. They were long shows.
There was 10 shows or something crazy.
Yeah, they were really long. Before it was you'd have maybe an hour. It's 1 hour. You get Square Enix or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with Summer Games Fest, they have really opened the floodgates, which has allowed a lot of people to show off, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
Everybody's allowed their time in the sun.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why
Totally.
and you still have the same E3 shows, surprisingly, like the PC gaming show, the Xbox game showcase, all
Devolver
that.
Digital's
But
still there.
yeah, but there's still like new stuff coming out. Like I was telling you guys before the show started that OTK Games Expo was a thing, and that was part of Summer Games Fest, but it was completely independent, like just streamers hosting indie games. And it was more like interviewing the devs, and also what happened is the chat would vote to see like what game they like the most, and then OTK would give that game developer like 10K.
Oh
So
wow,
it's kind of nice, a little incentive like to help the developers.
that's pretty cool.
So really cool thing. I love when indie games are my thing. So I love when they showcase indie games and
Yeah, and they
promote
have
indie games.
random stuff like the Meta Quest 2's show was in this as well, and like under the Game Fest umbrella, and so kind of got everything.
I love when like you get all that, and I think that was probably absent from E3 because it was kind of hidden behind a trade show or
Yeah.
hidden behind like you had to go there and see them on the floor, and they had to host a booth or something like
And that's
that.
all the stuff IGN was writing about back in the day about they'd be
Yeah.
writing about the headset that they saw.
Exactly.
Hey, do you watch any of these shows?
Not any of the full shows. I watched a couple highlights, and then I watched specific videos
Trailers.
pulled from the
Yeah,
shows. Yeah.
Did you see Ubisoft announced Skull and Bones' beta coming out soon?
I did.
And how they announced it was a band that played like a original song they wrote for Skull and Bones.
They always do those theatrical type
It's just
stuff.
so odd.
Like with
Everyone
the
else,
Just Dance and everything.
yeah, it started with Just Dance this year too. It was just like a Just
Oh,
Dance
yeah.
thing. Yeah, it was very interesting. It was a very low budget Ubisoft show and kind of underwhelming. So
which is saying something because they like to put musical theater into their shows for some
They
reason.
do, yeah.
well, they got Just Dance, Ted. That's their biggest IP.
That's a good point.
People were
That's very
buying
good.
Just Dance on the Wii like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I believe
that
it.
was selling Wii's.
Yeah, it was selling Wii still. So instead of us going through every show game by game, I wanted to just kind of bring our highlights and the stuff we kind of wanted to talk about and things we were most surprised about, and then we can go through kind of other games that we want to highlight as well. So, does anyone want to start off with like a big one that kind of got them?
I have a question. Are we talking about Starfield separately, or is that part?
Let's
of our
just start with
discussion?
Starfield because I wanted to talk
Yeah.
about Starfield.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So they did.
Yeah, it was one of my three. Yeah.
They did like a 45-minute presentation on Starfield alone. Did we all watch the 45-minute thing?
I did.
No, I watched the condensed 18-minute version.
Okay. Ted, you brought it up. What did you think of Starfield's breakout thing?
I feel very skeptical. It was all really cool.
Yep.
And my initial thoughts were very like, this looks awesome. But I kind of want to see it in my hands before I believe it. Kind of that whole No Man's Sky problem where they claimed 1,000 planets and endless fun, X, Y, and Z, and then it came out and it ended up that wasn't exactly true. I'm kind of waiting to see what's not exactly true about Starfield.
Yeah.
But the style and the look of the game looks fantastic, and I'm very excited to build your own ship, go to and just explore. They focused a lot about like, oh, and space sim people, this is for you. You can just, you don't have to fast travel. You can actually fly from A to B. And I was like, that's pretty cool, and that's a
Yeah.
cool looking cockpit.
James, how did you feel about it?
So I thought Todd definitely was throwing out every type of, Todd, don't believe his lies type thing.
Mhm.
But the gameplay was significantly better than the trailer they initially showed. When they showed that initial trailer with the fighting, I was like, this is gonna be awful. That looks
Yeah.
like shit. And
id
the
Software.
fighting this time. Yeah.
It's helping them with the combat.
The combat is much cleaner, and it's a little bit floaty because it's supposed to be this little this space. I like that. Like you can use the jetpack. I like that they're keeping the Fallout type fighting and Skyrim type fighting, but it's it's with guns and you're shooting guns, and so that gives me some hope that there's gonna be some fun combat. I did get a lot of No Man's Sky vibes on
Me
some
too.
of the planets
Yeah,
they're
Ted
showing,
brought that up too,
especially
yeah.
the animals. Very, very No Man's Sky vibes. A little worried about that. But then I was thinking, like, what's missing from No Man's Sky is like a true story and a true purpose. This
game
game
has it.
seems to have like a lot of factions, a lot of stuff going on, interesting characters. That's, to me, is going to carry the game.
Yeah, I feel like kind of the same way you guys were feeling about it. Is like, if it is what they say it is, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
But
I think, but I think the issue is it's big. The scope is huge. I guarantee there's going to be some bugs. They've already said there's going to be minimal bugs, but yeah, this is Bethesda. It's running at 4K 30. That's fine.
That's fine.
We talk about we're playing 720p 30 Tears of the Kingdom, the game of the year.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So this can be amazing at 30 frames, which I'm totally fine. If it has fidelity, it doesn't have any bugs, it's gonna have bugs. But if it doesn't have any like game breaking bugs, and the story's good and you're immersed and it's a lot of fun traveling and it's like what you wanted out of No Man's Sky, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a game where like we gotta see it to believe it kind of thing. But
right, I'm not pre-ordering. I'm not buying that watch.
Well, you don't have to. It's on Game Pass, James. So it's just
exactly.
Gonna be there. But like the whole trailer.
That's a cool looking watch.
That was a cool watch. Yeah. Cool controller. Cool headset. I like the color.
The headset was good. The controller was good too. I heard it was good quality.
Yeah, I think it is an Elite controller. I think it's.
Yeah, I was tempted because it's Elite because it's.
It just says limited edition. It's not actually Elite.
Oh, yeah, lame.
Is it feel metal-y? Like, does it feel heavy? Does it feel like a PS5 controller where it has some weight to it?
Yeah, I had to get the Elite controller because of that. But I feel like that whole trailer felt awesome, but also at the same time just kept being like, well, we've seen a lot of this in E3 trailers before, that it doesn't come to fruition. Like when they were talking about all the perks you can get, and like one person was like, I, had this religious perk that I was part of this religion, so like I didn't have trouble with these pirates. And it was like, that's kind of cool, but like how many times is that going to be used rather than like, or is it just that's what that religious thing does? Or is it like have a bunch of other branching things that your religion has going for you? Like that, I don't know how deep are the systems, I guess.
Well, I'm glad they didn't touch too much into it because I feel like it does get deeper. But they did, I think, hit on every single aspect of this game. Shipbuilding, traveling to different planets, the factions, weapons, like all this stuff, like how you can fight, the perk system, like every single type of like I think aspect of the game. They talk about their lighting system, like who cares? Lighting is okay. They hit on all those things. So, but they didn't really touch they touched the story a little bit, but not too much. Like I'm still a little curious about like what you're doing. Is it going to be like an Outer Wilds type thing, like trying to like figure out like these artifacts and stuff? But...
Yeah, that whole alien kind of bit was interesting at the end.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of curious. I don't know. Any final thoughts on
I'm still waiting for it to be in a real person's hands before I pass judgment. I'm waiting for like just a normal person to say this is great. You
got a couple.
Press can play it all they want. They played Cyberpunk 2077. They said it was going to change. It was going to change everything forever. And here we are. So
yeah,
I'm still cautious about it.
I wanted
a big endeavor.
Yeah. Speaking of Cyberpunk, though, if we can transition.
Yeah, I was going to say my final Starfield thing was I'm more excited about Starfield because of what they showed rather than less, and I thought I was going to be less excited.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think that saved it.
Yeah.
I was ready to just like shit on it, and
ready to shit
it was good. Yeah.
All right.
Like this is not going to be good.
Talk about your Cyberpunk.
Yeah, Ted mentioned Cyberpunk, and I'm hearing a lot of good things about this Cyberpunk DLC that's coming out.
Can you describe this DLC to me?
From what I've heard,
it's called downloadable content, Ted. It's
no, but this is CD Projekt
Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty.
Yes, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, $30, I think.
Yeah,
$30 DLC. Yeah, this is CD Projekt Red DLC through and through, which means it's an entirely different game. And from what I've heard, they've changed so much with it. They've changed combat, they've changed weapon systems, they've overhauled the game.
So that's where I bring up this point, because I was reading articles about this and it wasn't quite clear to me. Maybe it was clear to you guys. Are those gameplay revamps coming to the entirety of Cyberpunk?
Yes.
Or okay, so I can go back to Cyberpunk with potentially a revamped, better thought out system.
They've done that before with Witcher too. With like they did it with the recent updates that they did. So they revamped everything, like DLC plus main game. And I think all of that, once that comes out, it cascades to the main game as well.
Okay, good.
So definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah,
and it's surprising because everyone was like, "Man, this is coming out." Like you would think because of course Cyberpunk, like God, what a disaster.
Yeah,
but they really pulled ahead, and I think it's thanks to the Netflix show.
Oh yeah,
that a lot of my friends, like once they watched that show, they went back and played the game.
It had a huge peak in players. Yeah.
So 2077 still was a top selling game for 2 years in a row. Like it did not make the money.
Right.
I need to
For
go back and
as
play
much
it.
shit as they got.
That's what I was gonna
I
ask,
think
James. Have you played it
I have
at
it on my
all?
Steam Deck. I have it on my Steam Deck, and it's just I'm so backlogged with games.
I know.
I gotta travel and play it on my Steam Deck or something like that.
But then you can just take Tears of the Kingdom with you. So
Yeah, that's the problem. When you have such a better game to play.
Idris Elba is going to be in the DLC. That's cool.
Yes,
celebrity
and
tie-in.
looks good.
and Keanu Reeves is
Keanu
back.
Reeves, yeah. Keanu Reeves announced the trailer. He's on the Xbox Game Showcase.
Yeah.
I know.
It was great.
I'm surprised they're continuing with celebrity guests, especially because Keanu Reeves' model was like stripped out and is being used in all of these like abhorrent mods and stuff, and it was a whole huge problem. Surprised.
No, everyone
Idris
just
Elba's
owns.
people were like, yeah,
God.
scan
That's
his
so
face.
funny.
We don't care.
I mean, isn't there a John Wick game supposedly in the works?
I mean, there's like a
There's like a
Devolver Digital John Wick
puzzle
game.
game, yeah.
Yeah.
John Wick Hex. That's
Can
alright.
you imagine like a Hotline Miami John Wick game?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's kind of what it is.
Yeah, but it's
Oh,
like
never mind.
turn-based. It's like turn-based.
Oh, turn-based. Never mind. No.
Yeah.
I want. Yeah,
You
no,
like pick where he moves and then they move around you. Yeah.
No,
I
no,
see,
no,
I see.
I don't want an XCOM like.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Can I bring up a different game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
The PS5 exclusive that will eventually come to PC. This game looks great. It looks just like more Spider-Man, which isn't a bad thing. But you're playing as both Miles and Peter Parker, which is pretty cool. I'm hoping that they've got the Grand Theft Auto little switch system where like you switch over and they're doing something when you become them. That'd be
I'd
really
like
cool.
that.
Yeah. But I just think it looks great. I know it looks just more like more Spider-Man, but the fact that it's Venom and Kraven and
Yeah, I think it has some good story, like some darkness to it. which I
Yeah.
like.
yeah, like you know that you're gonna get a Miles fighting Peter Parker in the suit Spider.
Yeah.
Like you're like that's pretty cool to think about. So I'm excited to see how they do the story, and the game is just so fun to play. So wingsuit, you get the symbiote suit, you get a lot of stuff. Just that was my highlight of the Sony store that is not very good. So
I think another PS5 exclusive that I was excited for was Final Fantasy 16.
yes,
Did you see the trailer at all, or that they showed, or
yeah,
anything? They also came out with a demo.
yeah,
that's
the demo's
playable right
out.
now.
Yeah,
I haven't played it,
and
but,
it links up with your save, so it keeps your
Right.
progress.
I love that. There a lot of games are doing that. Like Inscription did that. That one game, the Loop Hero did
Yeah,
that.
a lot of
where you can play the-
JRPGs do on Switch.
Yeah, you can play the demo and then it carries over to the actual game.
Yeah.
which- awesome. And I've heard people are blown away with this demo and really love it.
Dude,
And,
it looks like a great video game, Final Fantasy
yeah.
16.
yeah, I'm excited for it. And I mean, Final Fantasy has been great.
Mm-hmm.
So
Comes
Any
out in like
thoughts on
2
that?
days, James.
I know it's just like
Never
I
ending.
think it's next week. Is it 20th?
Maybe. Yeah.
Next week. Next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy though. Crazy.
Is Ted here?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Ted just
you
doesn't
were
give a
so
shit about
still.
anything
Yeah,
we're talking about.
my eyes gloss over when you guys start talking about Final Fantasy. I don't know.
Well, I want to talk more about Final Fantasy. If you're,
You want to talk about? Are we talking about 7 Rebirth?
I want to talk about 7 Rebirth.
Yeah. Ted,
what did you think of that?
Get out of here for a little bit, Ted. We got this, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening in this trailer, but man, does it look cool.
Everyone that I've that's played the original Final Fantasy has no idea what's going on because it's like so divergent. They're showing so many things that are like not original, like not canon.
There's 2
love it.
timelines.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is exciting. So people that did die in the original may not die, or
Yep.
it's a bit confusing what's going on. But
Do you know the story
looks
of the
so good.
original Final Fantasy 7, James?
a little bit like I think. I don't want to spoil anything, but I know like some people were supposed to die at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah, and like there's
and
like
they
a
didn't, and they're
really
still
big
around.
death at the end of the game that
Right.
people think is going to be changed. That's like what
Yeah, I
this
think so.
story is to do, is to change this big death.
What do you think about? I mean, we already played the first game. What do you think about like this kind of retelling, rewriting of an original story?
I think it's really interesting. I think it's kind of fun the way that they're doing it. Especially from what I understand too about Final Fantasy VII, like it's already kind of had this kind of like timeliney weirdness to it, like through the movies
Yeah.
that they've made and
Oh yeah,
everything
yeah.
with, like,
Advent Children, all those. Yeah, those.
there's
are
a bunch of different
wild
Sephiroths that like kind of are in these timelines with these people. So
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued by it. And it's such a fun game to play alone. Like
Yeah,
the production value is so high, but like man, the gameplay is so fun.
that combat system is hands down one of the best combat systems I've ever.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to describe
so
it to
good.
someone the other day because I was like, you should really play the Final Fantasy VII remake, like even if you haven't played the original. And I was like, because it's just so fun to play. He's like, is it turn based or like action based? I was like, it's both.
Yes,
like-
it's both.
like you can attack whenever you want, but then like you get to make a turn if you want, like combine things, and like that's where the game is good.
Yeah, but that solidifies the combat because it felt like, okay, FF15 had really nice snappy combat.
Yeah.
You flew all over the place, but then when you combine it with this turn-based aspect,
and that's why I'm so excited for
team,
16. Like,
yeah,
not just a story that I can experience that's not confusing. Like, in that way.
The 15 story. Oof.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
So
I don't know. We'll see.
But yeah, this game looks great. It also looks like that you don't sometimes have Cloud too, which would be different. You had in the first game, so there's scenes that without Cloud playable, and it looks like it'll probably be a big open world, which we'll see. So I'm very intrigued.
Want more Barrett?
You'll get a lot more Barrett. You know it. That guy's our guy.
Hell.
Yeah, that game looks so good. I don't even know what's happening. So next year.
Yep.
2024.
I think we talked about this, separately, but man, a lot of games coming out in 2024. It's gonna be a stacked year. A lot of games coming out. I think this is just after COVID, just dump of games, which is good because it's been dry for a little bit.
And now we're just in the thick of it.
Yeah, now it's like I can't play any of these new games. I need to play Tears of the Kingdom.
That's all I've been doing. And now we got this Diablo thing we're obligated to play. It's like, come on, let's go be Zelda. Come on. Ted, you got a game? Let's get you back in this.
Yes, we talked about Starfield. There were a lot of games that I bounced off of. Do you want to talk briefly about the Avatar game? I know you weren't as hot on it as we were both on the same page on that
I didn't watch any of this. I just heard about it and I saw a little clip and I'm like,
James, it's literally Far Cry but Avatar. Like they even showed like you infiltrating bases and taking down people silently. Ted, what did you think of this? Frontiers of Pandora coming out this year.
I don't know enough about Avatar Land to really care. Excuse me, Pandora, the planet of Pandora. I did as well think it was very much like a Far Cry ripoff.
It looked like it.
Like Far Cry is already kind of a bland experience at this point.
Yep.
So I don't know, and nothing in the little footage they got like sold me on something new or different. But we'll see. I guess I'm willing to give it a try. I'm gonna watch that second movie at some point.
I'm watching that second movie probably tomorrow or the next day. I'm pretty excited about it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Anyways, not relevant to the conversation we're about to have. I thought that it didn't give me any vibes of like you said, anything that looked different. And it wasn't pretty enough, in my opinion, like visually to be like, wow, I'm in Pandora. Like I'm in this Avatar world from James Cameron. It was kind of like the imagery was pretty bland for how unique the imagery is from the movies. Mm-hmm. And that kind of stuck out to me. This game's been in development for many, many years. Like over 7 years. So take with it what probably not gonna be.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
All the Assassin's Creed stuff too at the Ubisoft presentation was pretty bland. Mirage is like a really dumbed down version, kind of going back to the roots of Assassin's Creed 1. So it's not like a big RPG. It's like a stealth assassin game. That's pretty much all that it is.
Is it like Dishonored?
No, it literally looks like you're just playing Assassin's Creed 1 kind of game. Like if they remade Assassin's Creed 1, that's what you're. Not that it's like doing something new.
Does that mean it's on a much smaller scale?
Yeah, this was supposed to be like a $40 expansion pack that they've just kind of made bigger into a game.
Okay. So it's. I wonder if they're scaling away. They're moving away from Valhalla's just like content dump, where like at some point everybody stopped because there's just too much.
It was just like 20 hours into the game. Yeah.
Yeah. I think at this point now it's 165 hours to play everything, including the DLC, or to play all the story.
Yeah. It's that game was massive.
Which I mean, it's very cool.
Yeah. They didn't announce a big Assassin's Creed game.
That up.
They announced a mobile game. They didn't announce any like big installment of the franchise.
No.
But since we're on Ubisoft, can we talk about Star Wars Outlaws?
Yes.
Yeah, I have another Ubisoft game too. So let's talk about Star Wars Outlaws.
James, I want to hear your thoughts. What did you think of Star Wars Outlaws?
So I saw this first with the Xbox Game Showcase, and I had no idea what was going on. I was like, okay, another Star Wars game, and I was like, whoa, this looks amazing. Like, we just got over Jedi Survivor. And we're just like, fuck Star Wars. And then the trailer comes on, and I was like, whoa, this looks really polished and true open world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with it, and I think they had some more on their side on the like the Ubisoft showcase where they're showing gameplay.
Yeah, they showed gameplay and kind of like
Yeah, and some of
what
the
you're doing.
interactions they had. I saw the one of the like droid interactions. I think
Hmm.
that's with you, and it was very like not typical droid, like very like almost like human,
I
like just
know.
these. It was interesting. I have never experienced that. It was
I have so many questions that are unrelated to video games and much more related to a Dago Boys podcast about what the heck Star Wars is doing.
Well,
We don't
yeah,
have to
we're,
get it.
we're
We
all
don't have
trying
to
to
get
figure
into
that
it.
out at this point.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm all for it though. I'm liking what they're doing.
I'm into this game. I'm excited.
Yeah,
On two things alone. It's got the coolest text treatment I think I've ever seen in a game. When it came up and it said like mission completed, it was in like that Star Warsy yellow font, and like the
Yeah.
way it came up was like very I don't know, very unique. And I was like, well, you've done something very cool with Star Wars just in that, like making it about a smuggler rather than a Jedi is super cool. Like I
Yeah.
really hope that she's not a Jedi. I hope this girl doesn't get the Force and a lightsaber throughout this game, because that I think would kind of ruin what it can be.
Yeah.
And you can fly a ship and you take off and you go through the sky into space and then into lightspeed. And I thought that was pretty unique that we've never done that whole process in a video game
No,
before.
yeah.
So
Jedi Survivor is all like on rails, and
yeah,
like,
you
I
just told them
hated
where
that.
you want to go.
Hated that.
So I like that we're doing a lot more in this game in that sense. So I'm kind of curious, but I don't know. We'll see. The character didn't grab me. I wasn't like into her, but also Cal wasn't very interesting, in gameplay trailers before the stories.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Just I think in general for a stealth based open world RPG is what I'll call it. It just in watching the gameplay, you have your little like cutesy Star Wars pet, but it was getting like bigger weapons for the protagonist to use, and then
Yeah,
she'd use them and then throw them away and go back to her like little pistol. I thought that was really cool. So I'm hoping there's going to be unique mechanics associated with being what a scoundrel or a
yeah.
smuggler or whatever you're supposed to be. So I'm looking forward to it, but I can't remember the last Ubisoft open world game that I played and felt engaged. Um,
Yeah.
like I had my whole phase checking out the Ghost Recon games and just being like, this is pretty by the numbers.
And that's what
Um,
worries
and
me too, is that's kind of
yeah,
Ubisoft's MO now, is like this checklist game that doesn't have like a real pulse to it. It's just like a
yeah,
by the numbers.
Yeah, I could be a little bit worried about
Yeah.
DLC potential or microtransactions, but
Oh, this game will have a store
NFTs.
instantly for you to buy new
yeah.
armor from
That's
right
just
away.
that's
That's
comes with the
kind of the
territory
thing.
nowadays.
I did
Yeah.
take a note that, so this is from Massive Entertainment, in one of Ubisoft's companies. They have 9 other Ubisoft support studios working on this game with them. 10 studios are making this video game.
That's a lot.
Pretty wild.
That sounds like it
Yeah.
could be a nightmare.
I'm really
Oh, it sounds
surprised
like an all hands type thing.
yeah, because they didn't. This license is somewhat recent to Ubisoft. Like it's like
Right.
a year to 2 years old. So like they're like
Yeah.
flying with this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're very good about when they get the opportunity to work on IP that's not inherently theirs, like Mario.
Hmm.
They go all out, or they try and put as much resources as they can to it.
Yeah, and I think this is a
So
big Hail Mary for Ubisoft. They're really struggling
think
to.
so
they had
too,
they had
yeah.
a did they have like a reduction in force or like some
Yeah.
layoffs or some
They've had a lot of problems. Remember their CEO made that comment too about like,
that's
we're not doing well enough. It's because our employees aren't working hard enough. And it was
that CEO
Not
is
fun.
like
Yves.
yeah, Yves,
Yeah.
yeah, that guy, the French guy, yeah, he is
Ted,
he did.
what was your other Ubisoft game?
I want to briefly talk about the Prince of Persia: The Last Crown.
But yeah, what do we all think of this game? This is the hot
I'm-
topic of the show.
I'm excited about it. I have no reason to hate it. I really like the gameplay. And we haven't seen kind of I don't know what they called it, an action platformer.
Yeah.
We haven't seen one of those at one of these trade shows for a really long time. I think
Yeah.
the cutesy Microsoft game that I'm blanking on right now is kind of the last one to come out.
Cutesy Microsoft.
You play as like a little fairy.
Ori?
bunch of teams worked on it.
Ori and the
yeah,
Blind
no,
Forest?
Yeah, like Ori was the last big
Will o' the
one
Wisp?
outside of some indie games like Shovel Knight, or excuse me, the other one, Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight. Yeah.
Getting my games mixed up. But I'm really excited for it. I think it looks really neat.
Yeah, I
very
like
least.
the old Prince of Persia games, like Sands of Time. It's like some of those. Prince of Persia, I think, is a good IP.
Mhm.
So seeing it getting a decent game.
I had heard that they were
Ooh.
doing a remake re-envisioning. I didn't know they were going to go back to 2D, so I was kind of hoping for a 3D Prince of Persia game. But if this gets the foot in the door, then I'm okay with it. It looked pretty fun.
Yeah,
It looked very fluid. You were combating to puzzle solving to combating again very, very nicely.
I thought this game looked super bland until they showed the ability of like time travel, where you like set a marker, run past a guy, hit him, and then you teleport back to like where your marker was placed. And I was like, that actually could be pretty cool for like a Metroidvania. If this game is good and people tell me it's really good, I'll believe it and I'll play it. If not, I won't ever touch it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
I can feel that.
Yeah,
but I'm optimistic for a new Prince of Persia franchise.
It's like the first in 13 years or something.
Yeah. It's been a while, and it's a good franchise.
Are we surprised Jake Gyllenhaal is not the voice for the Prince of Persia? He is the Prince of Persia after all. They couldn't afford him. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't think they can afford him. He's pretty high paid now.
He's a big time actor. He's in Michael Bay movies and shit.
Yeah.
Game that I was surprised about from the Xbox show, PlayStation show, The Plucky Squire.
The Plucky Squire?
I did not know anything about this.
Okay, it's a game from all possible futures, but it's a Devolver Digital published game, and it is a game about a storybook character that you play through like the book, like it actually is like a book on the table, and you're playing through the book. And then he discovers that he's in a 3D world and leaves the book, and it's like you traversing like different 2D, 3D spaces in this kind of like adventure game.
Oh yeah.
And it looks really cool. The art is really cool. It's got a really cool style. So I'm very curious about that, and it looks like just like a fun little indie game with a fun.
That is exciting.
Yeah,
that does sound good.
So yeah,
the main character is gonna discover other books, and then you're gonna have to play like other themes.
I'm
other
sure.
Books.
Yeah.
That's how they get you back into 2D.
Yep. Yeah. It looked like you at one point in the trailer, like you're like a knight in most of the stuff, but like at one point in the trailer, he's like got a jetpack and like a chain gun, and so like you're going into like different shit. So it's pretty cool. And it definitely looks like a game. It's like, oh, that's one to check out. James, what do you got for me? You got a game?
I do got a game. I got one game. Well, actually, they announced 2 games, but this one game looked really good, which was Like a Dragon, no longer Yakuza.
Yeah.
We're now Like a Dragon, which is to their Japanese name that they go by. The Japanese IP is like Ryu.
They're getting rid of the Yakuza name because for obvious
they're getting rid of
reasons.
that, and so it's now Like a Dragon. But this is the man who erased his name, and it looks quite interesting. Like it looks like it's combining the detective IP that they have, Judgment.
Oh, okay.
Which I really like. And then combining it with their original Yakuza series, and it looks like it was like real time combat, not the turn based that they have with the new Like a Dragon, which they also announced is coming.
Okay, I was gonna ask which one this was. So
this isn't the one where he's naked on the beach. This is the one with the original Majima, Goju, like all the original from the original Yakuza line.
Okay.
Not the new line, which I like because they're continuing the old line and then starting a new line.
I thought that was pretty cool. They have like 2 franchises now.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm looking forward to this one because they were showing the real time combat, which is a lot of fun. The beat 'em up style.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
And then the other one is also still good with turn based, but it's not as fun,
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm not too big of a fan of turn based.
Yeah, I saw the gameplay for it, and I was like, oh, this actually looks really cool. Like, I understand why people are into Yakuza games.
All those games play amazingly on the Steam Deck. I love playing those games on the Steam Deck, so it's a lot of fun. So that's going to be my Steam Deck game. I can feel it.
Is that coming out this year?
It is. No, I don't think it is coming out this year. Sorry, I didn't check the date on that.
That's all right. We'll forgive you this one time, James. Next time.
I got to. Yeah, I don't think it's coming out this year. There is a game coming out this year, though. I do want to quickly mention Lies of P. Did you see this game?
I played the demo today.
You did?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's good. It feels good. I definitely was like, I don't know if I need another Souls game, but
this is a Souls game, yeah.
It's very much a Souls game. Like it feels a lot like Bloodborne.
Right. People were saying Bloodborne, but with a twist, kind of thing. Which
because you're Pinocchio.
Yeah. I love that. I love this using Pinocchio.
To me.
Ted, your little like companion is Jiminy Cricket on your belt. It's quite great.
Yeah. I just conceptually this game is I can't believe this happened, but I'll be happy for it if it's good.
There's like a puppet uprising. That's what you're fighting is a puppet uprising.
Yeah. With the Dark Souls like combat.
Yeah, with Dark Souls combat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I hope
Yeah.
it's good. I hope it's spooky.
It
It
felt
is
kind of
spooky.
spooky, yeah. The demo's,
Yeah.
I mean, the demo's on like an hour. Check it
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ted, do you have another one?
Not really. I am gonna take a contrarian take and say that I was pretty unimpressed with everything Fable.
Ooh.
Um,
Really, I thought the tone looked fun.
Yeah, it looked
sure,
fun.
I
yeah,
mean, it's
but
not
I was
that isn't a
also
trailer for anything.
That
exactly,
wasn't showing anything. Yeah.
exactly. I was reading headlines. IGN wrote "Fable blew us away," and I was like,
The trailer.
"What? There's no
They didn't
gameplay yet.
show any
Yeah.
gameplay, yeah.
They're just
And people were like,
yeah,
"Yeah, that was gameplay. That was rendered in-game footage." I'm like, "That means nothing."
yeah."
We know that means nothing.
It was a cute trailer. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I was also I was unimpressed. Show me gameplay. Let me know that's a real game.
Give me the Starfield showcase with
For
that
Fable.
game, and
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I want.
If that is the tone of the game, though, that would be a really fun fantasy RPG to play.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought
Right.
while watching that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
If you,
I have one last game I'll point out.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about it, but Capcom is releasing Dragon's Dogma 2,
Yes.
sequel to Dragon's Dogma. That first game has a large cult following.
Legendary following.
A lot of people really like that game despite its kind of mediocre sales and reviews. But they're making a new one, and this is after gosh,
Many years.
multiple Monster Hunter successes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
just the RE engine has had plenty of games for them to practice on, and they know what they're doing with bigger open world games. And a lot of the systems and mechanics of Dragon's Dogma 1 were really unique, so I'm excited to see what they do.
Oh, cool.
They're getting such good use out of the RE engine. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Is
there's so
this
many games
game
where I saw.
made in the RE engine?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so
There's
sick.
a couple. I think there's another one that was made in RE engine, and it's just like, man, they are really getting their money's worth for this RE engine.
Yeah.
But Jake, do you know anything about Dragon's Dogma or how this game plays?
No.
Quite interesting. Like you take this third person aspect and you have like an AI type party
Okay.
that helps you fight big beasts, like big dragons. Like
Oh.
it is like OG Dark Souls, but with like you have like a little AI party that
So
helps
it's a
you and
single player
fights with
game.
you.
It's a single player
Yeah,
game.
single player game.
Oh, I
Yeah,
always thought it was
yeah,
It's a
multiplayer.
single player game. It's like asynchronous multiplayer where like you can create, and James, correct me if I'm wrong, you create these kind of like AI driven companions, and
Yes,
you
you create the
pick
comedians.
their habits, their attitudes, how
Yep,
they
yep.
play, how they fight, and then those are like shareable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So of your party of 4, you can only make 1, and then the other 2 are like from other people.
Gotcha.
And so there's this weird community of like sharing avatars. I don't remember what they're
Yeah,
actually called.
people love this game, and I remember
Huh.
watching it. God, maybe it's probably been 10 years since I watched the
Yeah.
original, and there was a guy playing it. His name's Man versus Game. He's an OG streamer, and he was in love with this game. Like in the things you could do in the combat, it was tough. It was like OG Dark Souls, but like with this group party. So for them to make a second one, and it's been this many years, I think this is where I may try it out and just
That's
Mhm.
very
see.
cool.
RE engine. It could be a little fun. Could be challenging.
It's gonna
So,
have great lighting.
Capcom has just been hitting it out of the park recently. They have had success after success.
Yeah,
So
new Street Fighter is people love it.
it's people really love this game.
I am too scared to buy it, but people love it.
Can
I s-
I bring up a different game? Speaking of fighting
Yeah.
games,
Yep.
Mortal Kombat 1 looks like a hoot and holler and great time.
I think is number one in terms of trailer views, right? I think it
Yeah.
has like the most trailer views.
That
Yeah.
game looks fun. What a cool
Never-
idea, rebooting the timeline, but also like how the story mode goes in and out of fights looks super cool.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad they took that extra step. That's
Yeah.
kind of what they needed, I think.
Apparently, Ted, your character selection screen, you select your characters, you
Mhm.
select your map, and then then it just starts. There's no loading.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It
Nice.
just goes right into the game.
Get
I'm
me
like,
in there.
that's so cool. There's no loading screen anymore.
I know. It's Jake, I was talking to you about this. This might be my limit in terms of blood and gore.
Yeah.
I never thought we would get here, but man, does Mortal Kombat 1 look disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like almost too much though. Like
Part of
I
the gameplay trailer that they showed, like mid fight,
Yeah.
just breaks the shit out of this guy's like whole face, skull, nose, and like his eyes go back in his sockets, and then like he drops back down. He's like still fighting. I'm like,
Yeah.
why show that much gore if like he like isn't affected by it?
yeah, and that was hilarious in 2009, but now that it's like photorealistic,
Like a lot.
I'm kind of on the fence.
Yeah.
Well, and also this getting into a bit of a side tangent. Like most of Mortal Kombat 11, most footage is not allowed on YouTube because
Yeah.
it's too gory. And so, like, when, with the exception of live streaming, like any kind of recorded, even tournament
It
play,
gets like
they
polls.
have to either the tournament turns off gore, or like they cover up when it's too gory, or YouTube will do it for you, which is just wild to me.
That's so funny. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I didn't think they would make a new Mortal Kombat, but I also didn't think they would not dial back on it.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
really excited for the technology, and I think NetherRealm is doing the best for fighting games right now. But I might have to watch
Pass.
this on a not YouTube. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious. Like if it drops to a sale price like $30 in the end of the year or something, I'll pick it up just to play the story.
Is it coming out this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
This
like
November,
August or
October,
September or
whatever,
something.
Yeah.
And
I'm
Jean-Claude Van Damme is a character in it, and his
Awesome.
voice is recorded and everything. It's
We had
wild.
Terminator in the last one.
Yeah,
So.
and Rambo and a bunch of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense because Johnny Cage was based off of
But
Jean-Claude
wasn't
Van
Arnold's
Damme.
voice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really curious about this game just from a media critique perspective, because
Mhm.
I genuinely believe we are going to come up to a line where reviewers are going to be like, I
Too
didn't
bloody.
play this. Yeah, I didn't play
It's
this.
too much.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping they do more with the outside of the story. Like, we all played, I think, Mortal Kombat 11. Great story, great campaign, start to finish. But then afterwards, you were
It was
kind of
like,
left
whatever.
with their like almost free to play game. It was
Yeah.
very much like log in every day and do something, which was cool, but I didn't think it was quite there. It didn't quite sell me. So I'm hoping they can refine the bigger,
Yeah.
games as a service and make a product that people are dedicated to playing every day, so that we can get more just people in the door.
It's just the problem with fighting
biggest
games.
problem is that everybody leaves, and then only the best people are left to play.
Yeah, and
Get
there's no
mapped
reason
online.
to keep playing.
Right.
Yeah. One other game to talk about. Anybody like Hellblade? Did you guys watch the Hellblade 2 trailer?
That trailer scared me because right away there's like a voice talking to you right here. You're like, what's going on?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that trailer was just Hellblade to a T. It looked good.
I'm very excited.
Amazing.
2024. First game, if you haven't played it, it's like fantastic. Use your headphones with spatial audio because it's wild.
Have to use headphones for this game.
But like James said, like there's constantly voices all around you and behind you, and so very cool. The game looks interesting. I'm just kind of no idea what it is. It was very much not a gameplay trailer at all or anything. But,
you know, you just made me think of something which I totally different topic, but remember when PS5 came out and they kept talking about their 3D audio?
Yeah.
Like they had like this crazy audio. Have you experienced like how good it is yet? Like in any game?
No, I wouldn't say it's better than I've played like Hellblade with these headphones.
Yeah, I'm just curious because like the controllers, like the haptic feedback of the controllers are amazing.
Like that is interesting, but I didn't really.
But the 3D audio is like I remember they kept talking about that. I was like, oh, I haven't really.
They talked about so much. They talked about how they
that.
mapped out people's ears. They were like, we've like scanned 300,000 ears to make the best headphones in the world. And you know what these headphones do, Ted? You know what these headphones do? They scrunch my ear up so much that they make them red. And my ears are a little red when I wear these headphones too much.
Yep. That's what the 100,000 photos.
Yeah, that 100,000 photos. Apparently, my ears are bigger than 100,000 people's ears.
Ears are too big.
My ears are too.
That's why I like
big.
the giant cup over like a giant ear.
That's why I like these.
Never hurt my ears. Yep.
Any final Summer Game Fest thoughts?
So many games coming out. A lot of games for next year. I think there's gonna be a lot that just fall through the cracks, and some that just pop up out of nowhere that are gonna blow us away. So
I know.
Looking forward to it.
I think we come to this bigger discussion a couple times on this podcast, but I am really curious because there are so many games coming out.
Yeah.
Even from the big dogs. You know, I'll at this point I say it every 2 weeks that Ubisoft complained once that games are basically getting too big for them to handle. I'm really curious which one of these games stick and which ones just hit and slide off.
Yeah.
Very, very curious because everyone's bringing a lot to the table right now.
Yep.
Very competitive out there.
Yeah, I was Corey on Twitter. Balrog?
Yeah, Corey Balrog.
Yeah.
Balrog.
He was talking about how like you Last of Us is today's the 10-year anniversary of Last of Us. So
hey, shit.
Wow. And he was just like talking about how like what a great game was. He was like showing it on his Steam Deck because he was playing on Steam Deck, and he was talking about he's like reflecting about game development and how since there's so much advancement in technology that game development cycles are going to be so much longer, and
Yeah.
he says he can't wait to retire and not deal with a 10-year long or plus game cycle, because that's what we're heading towards. There's
Yeah.
just so much to do, and the teams are getting so big.
I mean, that's
It's
what
like,
I remember. Jason Schreier said this on his podcast once, where he was talking about, like, yeah, like the average game year cycle right now is like 5 to 6 years per game.
yeah.
Like from the start of pre-production to like when the game goes gold, like 6 years. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of investment and time for something that could just.
Yeah.
So.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
a
lot of games.
One final thought. I know James was talking earlier about an indie showcase, but did you guys see a lot of indie games or smaller games from any of these shows? I've noticed a trend where
didn't
like
see any Hades.
everyone's bringing out the big guns, and I'm not seeing a lot of kind of those small projects. Jake, your storybook game, the Plucky Squire, was like the smallest game on my list that I'm staring at right now.
Yeah, that I mean, I don't think the showcases did a great job showing like smaller games. But like I think Jeff's Summer of Game Fest show had the most kind of like indie third party kind of shows, but I wouldn't say
Right.
like where they have those indie montages where it's like really really fast. There wasn't a ton of
Yeah,
that.
or like in the past, like Sony and Microsoft will like do this thing where they like kind of show off these smaller games.
Yeah, there wasn't really
Xbox did, but they didn't use it for their main show.
It's like
They
the
do have
separate
like
thing,
a
right?
separate. They have a separate after show where it showcases all those, and then they even had like a in-person type thing where you can go and play the game.
You're right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they were hosting some of the stuff like that.
Yeah.
For some industry,
But not
people.
for you, Ted.
Not for me.
But
That's okay.
not in the main show, which I do agree, Ted. Like I don't like that. I like a nice indie showcase, which was the OTK Games Expo.
Well, and
which they were
I'm
showing.
wondering because traditionally these shows are like your big budget, your triple
Yeah.
A's, and then
Right.
there's some smitterings of kind of smaller scope games in between. But watching the headlines and staring at the reels, there's just big game after big game.
Well, yeah, we're
Like,
just. I think that's
there's no
kind of
room
the
for little
reality.
guys because there's so many big guys.
I think that's the case.
That's something that I think needs to be addressed.
The last little final thought. Apparently, Alan Wake 2 is very good, according to
I did
like,
see them.
everybody that's kind of went down and played and tested these games and stuff. It's like Control, half a sequel to Control.
Right.
Is that
Control was a great game.
is that a day one on Game Pass?
I don't think so.
No,
And I won't try it.
But no discs. That game will not sell a disc.
Yeah.
Didn't Final Fantasy VII say that it took like 2 discs or something like that, or 3
No,
discs? 3.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is on 2 discs, but 2 Blu-ray discs.
Yeah.
2 Blu-ray discs.
The games are too big now for discs. Like they just gonna hand you an SSD. That's your
Jedi Survivor was a
Yeah.
150 gigabyte download onto my PS5.
That's insane.
You probably got a disc. It was just a download.
I don't get discs anymore. I'm not a chump.
Same here.
Thank you so much for watching the 136th episode of the Side Escape Gaming Podcast. My name is Jake. That's James. That's Ted. We will see you next week for a Diablo 4 discussion.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Aloha,
so bright.
everybody.